Aloha, y'all. Daniel Aaron with you. One of my clients, truly amazing. Okay, no. I was going to say one of my clients, truly amazing. I'm so lucky. I'm so blessed. And maybe it had something to do with it in my cultivation because I do have some standards. Every one of my clients are phenomenal people. I'm thinking of one, excuse me, in particular at the moment. And in our last session together, we were talking about her responsibility, her power, and it flashed for me a few times the story of Hercules. Though our conversation went in other ways, she was in the midst of creating something else. We didn't get to that. So here it is, because I believe that you will benefit as well. Now, I've created a performance called The Awakened Warrior: Pathways to Peace, Prosperity, and Power. And it's a little bit about the fact that we are in a new era. And while I love Arjuna from the Bhagavad Gita, right? Awesome. And Hercules, coming back to him in a moment, and Braveheart, William Wallace. There's so many great heroes from our past and many things to admire about them. And the new warrior has a new role. My greatest heroes, I'm not going to tell you the whole thing right now, but my greatest heroes, Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., right? The strength, presence, and love of different outcome that empowered them to peaceful non-resistance. Holy moly. And let's look at what's in common, though, at the moment. So, one of the definitions of hero, it's the one that has strength for two. And this is part of what my client was working on. I was like, wow, how come I need to be the one that stands up for these things, the one that's capable, right? And as Stan Lee so well said through Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So let's rewind to the story of Hercules. There's a great lesson for all of us in this. Hercules, when a young man traveling alone in the forest, comes to an interruption. A goddess, two goddesses appear before him. One says, hey, come with me, and if you follow me, you will have a life of pleasure and luxury. And she is mightily seductive, though maybe something's not quite right. Like, just looks a little too good, a little maybe preening. I don't know, a little bit of sort of selfishness, something not quite right. And so, he politely listens, pays attention. And when she finishes, the other goddess steps forward and says, hey, if you come with me, if you follow me, it's not going to be what she promised. It's going to be challenge. It's not always going to be pleasant. There will be hardship. And you will lead a life of incredible fulfillment and satisfaction. Well, as you might guess, indeed, Hercules chose the latter option. And part of the lesson for all of us is that when we have the courage to stand up for what's right, to take our responsibility, to choose the higher road, well, there is challenge and discomfort in that. There's fulfillment, there's satisfaction. And part of what came to me from my client about that is a little bit like right now, we're at this, right now today, new moon in Taurus, and Jupiter and Uranus connected in there. And Uranus is a very cool planet. It's the planet of freedom and revolution, right? It's also the unpredictable, right? And we know that there's one way to get security, to know what's going to happen, and it's called being dead. Well, even then, I don't know. But if we're alive, there is uncertainty. And when Uranus is alive, there's even more. When Uranus is alive, when Uranus is activated, there's even more uncertainty, right? It's a bit like being on a roller coaster. So useful for all of us right now. A little more on Uranus. Useful for all of us right now. I'm guessing if you are here with me, you are already heroic, right? You are called to something more, right? This is part of the hero's journey from Joseph Campbell, right? And whether it's, well, one of the hallmarks of the hero's journey is the calling usually, maybe always, has with it a component of reluctance, like, "Ooh, I don't know, not me. No thanks. I'm busy. I'm over here," right? Something like that. And when I work with astrology and speak about Uranus, one of the things I talk about is that, well, Uranus is like being on a roller coaster. And there's a massive difference in a roller coaster experience of when somebody pushes you, says, pushes, get in there, and then the thing clamps down, and then suddenly, and you're doing the loop-de-loops, right? And it's like you could be screaming in agony, right? On the other scenario, you're like, ooh, hey, roller coaster, I want to go for a ride. And you get in there and you pull the thing down and you say, yeah, let's go for a ride. And you might be screaming, but then the screams are joy and excitement. And there can be some fear in it, but that's cool because you wanted that and it's exhilarating. So the difference between roller coaster when you choose it and when you're pushed on is very much like the difference between a hero, right? When you overcome, when any of us overcome the reluctance and say, you know what, I do have this power and I do have this responsibility and I am going to use it for good. Incredible satisfaction comes from that. And the truth is, for all of us, we're never a victim. We may slip up and go into conditioned thoughts and think for a little while we're a victim or, we're not choosing it, but we always are. So on this new moon, a day of new beginnings, this is my encouragement and little audio love letter to you to be even more deliberate about your choice, your acceptance of the call. What would it mean today to be on that roller coaster, right? Encountering the uncertainties of life, saying, how cool, I chose this ride. And oh, look, a little comment popped up. Stacy, thank you so much for popping in. I love you. You are beautiful. And all of you, whether you're with me live or by rebroadcast, I love you. You're beautiful. You are heroic. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. See you later. Aloha.